Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope everyone is fine, safe, and healthy. You are listening to the voice of your course instructor of Human Resource Management, Dr. Muhammad Faisal Fareed. We are going to discuss today career planning and development. The learning outcomes of this particular lecture is that after going through the content, you will be able to know about career planning and development. Before describing the nature of career development, it is useful to differentiate it from training. Career development carries broader canvas, longer time frame, and wider scope, whereas training aims at improving performance at the earliest. Training is generally group-oriented and duration-specific. Career development is individualized and is an ongoing process. The term career planning, career development, and career management need bit clarification. Career. Career is progress or general course of action of a person in some profession or in an organization. Career includes the specific jobs that a person performs, the kinds of responsibilities and activities that comprises those jobs, movements and transitions between jobs, and an individual's overall assessment of and feelings of satisfaction with these companies of his or her career. Elaborating further, career includes the specific job that a person performs, all kinds of responsibilities and activities that comprises those jobs. A career is one that includes the specific jobs that a person performs, like when we talk about the career of a teacher. So whatever teacher performs is his career. Similarly, when we talk about career of a policeman, then all the job related actions which he performs are regarded his career. When we talk about career progression, then a typical career progresses through 5 stages. The very first stage is entry to the organization, when the individual can begin the process of self-directed career planning. Second stage is progress within particular areas of work. Third is mid-career, when people still hope to secure higher position while others have already got. Later careers, when people have settled in respective areas and are planning post-retirement life. End of career in organizations, rehired if physically fit and willing, or lead retired life dedicated to social and religious life. So in a normal career, the person progresses through these 5 stages. First of all, he enters to the organization where he starts his career. Then it progresses with a time frame. Then he reaches to some higher position. Then in the later part of his career, he is settled down in his work respected areas, and then in the last stage he is getting ready for the retirement position. The meaning of a career given above refers to its conventional approach. The traditional approach focuses on paid work. It also embodies the notion of a job for life. or the idea that careers are longitudinal phenomena that take place within single or limited number of organizations. Obviously, the focus is on career taking place within a bureaucratic context and on continuous vertical adjustment through the organizational hierarchy. Careers tend to be structured around well-trodden paths or ladders which link a sequence of jobs resulting in the achievement of certain predetermined objectives. Now we are going to discuss certain things which are considered as an old career and some are considered as new career, because always there is a discussion between old and the new. You can see here the comparison between old career and the new career more clearly. In old days, the career was structured. Nowadays, it is unstructured. In old days, there was some objective. Now, the career is a subjective thing. In old days, people were loyal and they continued their career with one organization. Now, the new career is discontinuity. In past, it was coherence. In present, it is the irregularity. In past, status, power, and authority were the main features of career. Now it is psychological success. In old days, it was a bureaucracy. Presently, it is the network. In old days, people were organizationally bounded career holder. Now there is no boundary. So today's career are borderless. In past, it was work focused. Present, it is holistic. In old time, it was considered as jobs. Now it is skills, assignments, and projects. There was some predictability in the old career. Nowadays, in new career, they are unpredictable. In old career, it was long-term affair. In today's new career, it is a short-term. In old days, in old career, the career was future orientation, but now it has present orientation. It does not imply that the old careers are dead. Employees of today expect orderly career movements and prefer to stay with the same organization for at least 5 years. They believe that rolling stones do not gather anything. An individual prefers to lead a predictable and orderly life. So, what we have seen is the comparison between old and the new career. Now, here we are going to discuss three very important things. The first one is career planning, second is career development, and third is career management. Career planning is a process whereby an individual sets career goals and identifies the means to achieve them. So he plans and he sets career goals and then he identifies different means to achieve those goals. Where the organization intervenes in planning, it becomes organizational career planning. Career development refers to a formal approach used by the firm to ensure that people with proper qualifications and experiences are available when needed. The third thing is career management. It is the process of enabling employees to better understand and develop their skills and interests and use them for the benefit of the organization and self. So, in career planning, individuals set career goals. In career development, it refers to the approach used by the firm, and in career management is the process that enable employees to better understand and develop their skill and interest and use them for the benefit of the organization and self. Career development benefits both employees as well as organizations, as properly developed employees are better equipped to add value to themselves and to the company. Every organization needs to have career development program and integrate the function with other HR activities. In planning careers, employees need organizational information. Similarly, when we talk about roles for career development, we find that there are four stakeholders in career development. One is the organization, second is manager, third is employee, and fourth is HR professional. So organizations are expected to play a critical role in employees' career development. They are constantly required to reinvent themselves and are forced to manipulate priorities and change regularly. The organization should develop and publish a formal career ladder or career path. Such a ladder provides valuable information regarding the possible directions and career opportunities available in the organization. It presents the steps in a possible career and a feasible time frame for climbing the ladder. The path should also specify the qualification needed for succession at each stage and the minimum number of years one should serve as a position before aspiring for the next. In addition, the employer should make up, encourage, facilitate, and reward an employee in his or her career advancement. The next is manager. If the organization provides the systems and tools for career development, the development-minded manager provides the support and guidance. Managers must understand that building talent for tomorrow requires commitment to career development today and at every level. Development-minded managers create and implement developmental assignments, encourage risk-taking, set goals, and tap unused resources. They provide a professional safety net so that employees can experiment and learn on the job. The third in the queue is employee. The employee cannot remain passive spectator in their own development. All the exercise that takes place in the name of career development is for employees, and they should naturally take active interest. To be effective, employees must begin to manage their career by knowing themselves, knowing what is out there, knowing what others think of them, and knowing whom to ask for help. It is up to each individual to identify his or her own knowledge, skills, abilities, interests, and values, and seek out information about career options. Now, there are different career development initiatives such as career planning workshops, career counseling, mentoring, personal development plans, career workbooks, etc. etc. There are certain challenges of career development. An HR leader needs to be aware of these challenges that are lying in the way of managing careers of their employees. The first of all is laissez-faire attitude of the management, where management feels that its job is to identify talent and talented individuals rise in their career on their own. By assuming that the cream will climb up to the top, the organization can waste the latent potential in the employees by failing to nurture and develop it. The second challenge is the assumption that job rotation or an overseas assignment is itself a developmental experience. The third challenge is making promotions that stretch the person to the point of breaking without proper support and a safety net, and blaming the individual for failing to adapt quickly enough. The fourth problem relates to moving the high potential individuals from one role to another too quickly, eliminating the opportunity to learn from experiences and mistakes. Finally, there are certain individuals who are too ambitious, impatient, and greedy. They refuse to understand that rising to the top is an time consuming process. A management trainee today, assistant manager tomorrow, manager the next day, vice president the fifth day, and chief executive officer subsequently is possible only in movies and dramas and not in real life. Problem is that they have talent and this make them become Rolling Stone. Career management process is not a simple or single thing. It takes time, like assessment, planning, development, evaluation, etc. and etc. There are certain things which are kept in mind while you are planning for your career. There are certain things which take place around your organization, around you, and you are working on different things. The next stakeholder in career development is HR professional. Role of HR professional is felt more in career advancement programs than in other activities. HR professional must align with the vision of the organization by serving as strategic partners who can integrate business-driven solutions around a robust career development program. This means they must take stock of their existing career development processes to integrate new thinking, strategies, and behavior and infuse into the culture of organization. Now, development refers to formal education, job experiences, relationships, and assessment of personality and abilities that help employees prepare for the future. Here you can see a difference, a comparison of training and development. The focus of training is on current thing, while focus of development is on the future. The use of work experiences as far as training is concerned is low, while for development use of work experience is high. The goal of training is preparation for current job, while goal of development is preparation for changes. The participation in training is required, while participation in development program is voluntary. Features of training and development program: skills, education, development, ethics, attitudinal changes, and decision-making skills must go into any program of training and development. Without skills, education, ethics, decision-making skills, no program of training and development is successful. A program of training and development is important as it lends stability and flexibility to an organization, beside contributing to its capacity to grow. What happens normally is whenever there is an organization who is giving some training or development to its employees, it lends stability and flexibility to the organization, and it contributes to its capacity to grow for future. There are certain uh, career management initiatives, and there are several initiatives which help build talent. Steps and responsibility in the career management process. Self-assessment refers to the use of information by employees to determine their career interests, values, attitudes, and behavioral tendencies. It often involves psychological tests. Through the assessment, a development need can be identified. This need can result from gaps between current skills and/or interests and the type of work or position the employee wants. Now, you can see here the steps and responsibilities in career management process. First of all, you are seeing self-assessment, then is the reality check, goal setting, and action planning. Now, seeing the bottom, we can see employee responsibility. As far as the self-assessment of employee responsibility is concerned, he identifies opportunities and needs to improve. Then identify what needs are realistic to develop. Identify goal and method to determine goal progress. Identify steps and timetable to reach goal. The company responsibility: once the employee has assessed his self-assessment, so company provide assessment information to identify strengths, weaknesses, interests, and values. Communicate performance evaluation where employee fits in long range plans of the company. Changes in industry professions and workplace ensure that goal is SMART. SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Commit to help employee reach the goal. In the action planning, identify resources employee needs to reach goals, including additional assessment, courses, work experiences, and relationship. Now, there are four approaches which are used to develop employees. The first one is formal education. The second is assessment. The third is job experiences. And the last is interpersonal relationships. Now, keeping in mind these approaches to develop employees, one can see that formal education programs include off-site and on-site programs designed specifically for the company's employees. Short courses offered by consultants or universities. Executive MBA programs and university programs in which participants actually live at the university while taking classes. These programs may involve lectures by business experts, business games, simulations, adventure learning, and meetings with customers. Assessment. Assessment involves collecting information and providing feedback to employees about their behavior, communication style, or skills. Companies vary in the methods and the sources of information they use in developmental assessment. Many companies use employee performance evaluations. Companies with sophisticated development systems use psychological tests to measure employee skill, interest, personality type, and communication styles. For this purpose, many inventories are used. Self-peer and managers ratings of employees' interpersonal styles and behaviors may also be collected. Popular assessment tools include personality tests, assessment center performance appraisal, and 360-degree feedback. Job experiences. Most employee development occurs through job experiences, relationships, problems, demands, tasks, or other features that employees face in their jobs. A major assumption of using job experiences for employee development is that development is most likely to occur when employees are given stretch assignments. Stretch assignments refer to assignments in which there is a mismatch between the employee's skill and past experiences and the skills required for success on the job. To succeed in their jobs, employees must stretch their skills. That is, they are forced to learn new skills, apply their skills and knowledge in a new way, and master new experiences. So interpersonal relationships. Employees can also develop skills and increase their knowledge about the company and its customers by interacting with a more experienced organization member. Mentoring and coaching are two types of interpersonal relationships that are used to develop employees. A mentor is an experienced, productive senior employee who helps develop a less experienced employee. Because of the lack of potential mentors and recognizing that employees can benefit from relationship with peer and colleagues, some companies have initiated and supported group and peer mentoring. Most mentoring relationships develop informally as a result of interest or value shared by the mentor and the person who is in his capacity. Similarly, coach is a peer or manager who works with an employee to motivate her, help her develop skills, and provide reinforcement and feedback. With this, we come to the conclusion of today's lecture. In the end, what we can say is that regardless of the development approaches used, employees should have a development plan to identify the type of development needed, development goals, the best approach for development, and whether development goals have been reached. For development plans to be effective, both the employee and the company have responsibilities that need to be completed. Thank you very much.